Okay, I'm not sure how long that's going to record for, or whether it cuts out, or whether there's an optimum size for doing the videos or whatever. But I know when John and Les do their UStreams, they're usually about an hour. So what is it now? 7 o'clock. So I'll keep going till about yeah, about 8, about an hour. Somebody will have to shout me in about an hour's time. Oh, actually, I could put an alarm on. I'll put an alarm on my phone. I have crazy music going. I was going to put 2 hours or so. Cool. I don't want to risk it not processing though, and I've got it on HD. I'm not sure what the processing thing is like, or whether it records it as it goes or what. I've not really used it, to be honest. Not as a broadcaster. What was I doing? Oh yes, an alarm. I am so easily distracted. I swear I'm part gnome. Because I'm like, oh yes, I've got to do this, and I'll just start, oh yes, I'll click this, and oh, shiny! What was I doing? I can't remember. So I'll start something else, and then I'll go, oh yeah, that was what I was doing, and I'll pick it up again, and I'll start again, and oh, shiny! Oh, that thing I put up for the, oh, it's so much better having somebody I recognise to talk to. Jonathan! Hello, peoples! Oh, it's so nice having people that I kind of recognise the names. When you're talking to 3 guests, you don't really know who you're talking to. Now I'm talking to friends. I'm like, oh yay, I like it. What am I doing? See, oh, shiny. I'm setting an alarm for, I'll set it for 7 o'clock. And then if I'm on a roll, I'll stop at 7 o'clock, let it upload, have a little comfort break, make a coffee and such, and then I'll come back and do a little bit more later. Save that. So that'll go off in an hour. And I'll be sitting there going, where's that strange ringing noise? 8, 7. Did I say, yeah, see, I get confused with times. Because it said 18:59, I was working on 18. Oh, 19:59 it's set for. That's an hour's time, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. For those of you who have just tuned in, hello, Angelicus. This is part of the Whimsical Workspaces Halloween party thingy. This is one of the art challenges. The challenge is, should I put my hands here just to prove that I am here? Hello. Look at my white paint. I was painting the ceiling last night. Ruined my manicure. The strange noises is me eating jelly sweets. I've got a bit of a sore throat, keeps the voice going. Yes, the challenge is, because we're all Hogwarts based, we've got various teams. And the team colours are, Gryffindor is red and yellow, Slytherin is green and silver or grey, Ravenclaw is blue and bronze or brown, Hufflepuff is brown and yellow, and we've also got Muggle World. Muggles liked purple. They had purple and white for their colours, but white is also one of the colours that you're allowed to use, so purple I gave them gold to use. You're also allowed to use black, white and titanium buff. So for those of you who are members of Willowing, you will recognise that as being very similar to the portrait challenge that Tam did not so long ago. I really wanted to do that challenge, but pink isn't my thing. So I thought, well, why not? you know, incorporate it. A lot of people on the group had said that they hadn't had time to do it, so I thought, well, okay, I'll put that in as a challenge. This is what I'm using for it. This is the same paper that Tam recommends for the Lifebook class. It's called Langton, it's by Rhomany. It's called Langton Extra Smooth Hot Pressed Grand Sateen. It's 12 by 9 and it's £140. If you've got Fabriano hot press, this is almost identical. It's a really nice grade of paper. I don't actually bother taking mine off the pad until I'm finished. What I tend to do, just move that out of the way. I'm too low. I need to be up about 6 inches. I can't quite reach what I'm doing. But my chair's broken and I haven't been able to fix it yet. So I'm going to have to deal with it. I need a booster seat. Anybody got a booster seat spare? I usually use this just ordinary paper tape, masking tape. Grab a little bit of this and my scissors. And because I tend to touch the paper when I'm working, and I wear bracelets, it tends to get caught on the corners, so all I do is I just pop a little bit on each corner, just right on the corner, which would be where a frame or whatever would sit, not like all the way in. You notice I only chose a little bit of paper tape, and then that will stop your paper curling up at the corners when you move across it, but it'll also help with cockling when your paper gets rippled because it's too wet. I don't tend to work very wet, but I keep having to remind myself to look at the chat bit. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on in chat. I'm not very good at... I'm good at multitasking, but not when it involves talking and reading at the same time. Okay. For those who haven't seen it, let me... Hopefully this will work. There's a delay, I can't really see what I'm doing. It's going to be upside down because my camera's upside down for the art. But that is my grab bag, and you can see I've got all my paintbrushes in the end here, my watercolour pencils, illustration pencils, these are erasable, very cool, bits and pieces like my scissors live in there, my little brush for removing eraser marks, my pencils. In the back here I've got all my pads and watercolour pencils, Duent pencils, watercolour paints, all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that I use all the time in my grab bag. I'm not getting on camera today, I don't have any makeup on. I was going to do my Bellatrix thing today because I'm obviously headmistress of Hogwarts, Bellatrix, and I was going to get all dressed up and do my makeup and everything. But honestly, if I'd done it earlier, I would have looked more like Alice Cooper than Bellatrix. Because I got so hot earlier hanging beaded curtains and pictures and things, so it just wasn't worth it. Anyway, on to the challenge. A self-portrait, or something that represents you, using your team colours plus black, white and buff or cream, depending on what you have. So I've got some nice black and white papers there. My team colours, I'm a Slytherin, obviously, being Bellatrix, I'd have to be. My team colours are green and silver, which is going to be a bit of a challenge for me because I'm colourblind. But it's something that a lot of people ask me about actually, but basically what I do is I go by the names of the colours, so I know what names I know, like, I know vermilion is a red colour, and so forth. So I tend to go by the names of the colours. And if it says something like forest or spruce or sea, it's probably greenish. And that'll do me, you know. If it's a little bit off, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if I'm going to use scrapbook papers. It's not really my style. I think I might do. This is. Let me show you what I'm working on at the moment. This is what I'm working on at the moment. Can you see it? I have to wait until it pops up on my screen to see if you can see it. Oh yes, you can. Right. This is what I'm working on at the moment. This is the style that I've settled on, if you like, which is mostly a border, decorative border, white background, and a character in the middle, which is usually, I tend to use watercolours. It's still mixed media, but it's not messy mixed media. A lot of mixed media tends to be, I mean, you know, if you've seen the stuff that Tam does, or Jonathan, or actually Eve does mixed media as well, Susie, any of those, all the mixed media stuff tends to be messy, and I don't like messy. Well, I do like messy, I love looking at it, but I don't like making it. I don't like getting messy. I like neat and tidy, strangely enough. So this is the style that I tend to work on. This is what's it called? It's a glass chopping board, and I just tape my thing down. You can. I don't think you can see it, but I've drawn a border the size of the frame, the matte board frame, and then I tape it down, spray it with some water, leave it overnight, and it stops it rippling. I've got one that I've finished actually. I've got two that I've finished. I can show you. That's my latest one. I just finished that the other day. Again, very mixed media. Definitely mixed media. We've got watercolours, we've got inks, we've got... This is actually stamp embossing. I did it freehand with a Versamark pen and then put embossing powder over it. Real feathers. Glitter, stickles. Love my stickles. I don't think it will pick up, but the rosary that she's wearing is actually, it's got 3D, Anita's 3D on it. And she will have a matte border. She doesn't have a matte border yet because I'm not entirely convinced she's finished. There's something not quite finished about her. So she's living up on top of my thing at the moment. And here's one I've done. Again, let me wait to see if it's in frame before I start telling you about it. Yes, it is. This is one I've done as a commission for somebody. She wanted a picture of her little girl as a fairy with her dog. So this is Mia and Tiny. There's actually a making of video for this one, and again it's mixed media. There's I've got little glittery bits, I've got glitter here, I've got diamante thingies, confetti stars. They're actually iridescent, they're not pink, but for some reason on camera they look pink. Watercolours, I did the background here. I actually painted the background first behind her. I don't normally paint the background, but I did this time, and I used cosmic shimmers, which are a bit like H2Os, so they're slightly iridescent. You can't see it on camera at all, but it's like mica powder. In fact, if you mix watercolour and mica powder, you get H2Os. Who knew? That I discovered that completely by accident. What else have we got on here? I used charcoal on the dog, a little bit of acrylic paint, gel pen, black pen, my staple, my black waterproof pen. Hi Cheryl! Is that Cheryl from my class? I think it is, yeah, it's the same spelling. Yeah, so that one's all ready. I think that one's finished. I'm quite happy with her. I like her face, she's cute. So yeah, that's my work in progress at the moment. So I'm going to do something similar, I think. Let me find my border. That'll do. It's big enough. I got these matte borders cut. They're not proper mats. They're just kind of floppy card, heavy card. About twice the thickness of scrapbooking card. So they're quite stiff, but they're not proper mats. You can see the real mat is about 3 times the thickness. Don't know if you can see that. I think we're getting adverts again. So, what I generally do, I don't know if it keeps recording during the adverts. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I use my mat just to get my central piece. So on this one, this is a smaller version, so it's the same size mat, same hole in the middle, mostly. It's a tiny bit different. So I used a smaller mat to make this there. Same on this one. I used a bigger mat to make this one, and then the actual mat that it'll go in is the border. I don't know whether I'll keep this one for, I might keep it for my Lifebook page, or I might frame it, I don't know, depends how it comes out really. So I'll just make sure it's straight. And draw border. So my character will be in this border. I'll have a border around the outside as well, which will be my frame. So probably about there. So I don't want to go outside of those bits. My skin's itchy. I was painting last night. I did my ceiling. You've never seen anything as hilarious as me trying to paint a ceiling, I tell you. Where was I going with that? Yeah, God, I'm so easily distracted. Yes, they are recorded. Yes. Hopefully they will save and everything. I'm assured that they usually do. But I'm recording for about an hour, and then I'll have a bit of a comfort break and I'll come back. So I'm going to be around for a while. I'm actually usually up till about 4 AM and it's only 7 now, so yeah, I got paint on my arm anyway, emulsion paint, and it's made my arm itch. Probably should have taken some antihistamine. Blade's off to the studio. The real studio, not a studio lounge. He's got a real studio. Right for some. Ah, mid-virus. Yeah, somebody else was saying they had a virus around. I think they were from Australia as well. Must be a summer thing you're having. It's so peculiar to think that you're having summer and we're just going into winter. Okay. So, black, green, white, titanium buff. Well, I used watercolours. And obviously you can get titanium buff in watercolours. So what I'll probably do is use yellow ochre, which is this one. or I might just mix a kind of creamy colour. Cream works well for mixed media, it doesn't work so well for watercolour. So I might use ochre, yellow ochre instead. So I've got yellow ochre. I've got cat hairs on my watercolours again. I don't know how this happens. That's my black. My white. Need a nice green. I can use any of those. I did only say green, your team colours. I didn't say only one green. So you can use more than one green. I think that's okay. And grey or silver. Silver's easy. Silver gel pen. Can't go wrong. I've also got my gouache here. That's got some really nice colours in it. I think I'll have that to hand as well. Move my huge bag of sweets. We haven't had any trick-or-treaters come around yet. It's almost 7:30. My art show is going slowly. I was going to get this all set up in advance, but I had technical issues. And technical issues always have to be fixed first. I'm not usually quite this disorganised, but because I've been doing other stuff, my art materials are all put away. Normally they'd be on my desk most of the day, but this is the first art I've done today. This is what I normally do when I'm checking my emails and my classes and things. I am currently on my second set of Neocolour 2s. When you get to the point where you can't actually hold them anymore, you have to buy a new set. I don't think I want to use those. Although, that grey's rather nice. Is that grey? Grey and light grey. Might use those. And I have my Pt1 ink tents, which, strangely enough, Tam and I bought the same day. And the next day she said to me, "Hey, guess what? I've got some of these." I'm like, "Oh, guess what? I just bought some as well." I haven't really used them. I'm still getting used to the colours. A couple of greens there I can probably use. A couple of blacks. I'm finding that these are really good for doing hair because they, once you wet them, they go permanent ink. Okay. I'm far too low here. I really can't see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can get my chair to stay up for a while. Halloween's not big in Australia. No, it's not very big here. People tend to have Halloween parties. They don't tend to go trick-or-treating. I'd love to go and spend Halloween in America. I've got a friend in Pennsylvania. He says it's very, very big where they are. I'd love to go and do that. Speaking of which, which, it's Halloween and my colours are green and silver and black and white. What else am I going to draw but a witch? It's supposed to be something that represents you. Well, why not? I've actually got, I don't know if you saw it, I think it was 2 years ago, Tam drew a Halloween witch with a black cat and a pumpkin. Absolutely gorgeous. There's a video of it actually, and I bought it. I was all over it. I was like, I want that. I bought it before it even went on Etsy. I already had my name on it. So I might do something, not exactly the same obviously, but something similar. Something perhaps to go with it, to match it. This is where you get to see my crazy drawing process. I do very similar to Tam. I start with a... You just keep going round and round and round for long enough, you get a face shape. It's that simple. And then from that, pick out the actual shape you want. My chair's sunk down again, so my perspective's all off. There's going to be lots of creaking where I have to keep getting up and down to look at what I'm doing. I usually have a slanted board that I work on, but I can't use it at the moment because if I do that you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, where's my eraser gone now? Oh, like 5 of them and I can never find any of them. Here we go. If you're used to tuning into the mixed media art journaling channels like Les and Susie and Paula and Jonathan, this is probably a bit of a change for you because I don't work like they do at all. I can do the whole messy mixed media, throw it all on the page and see what sticks thing, but I've kind of gone the other way now, and I prefer doing more I don't know, less messy. There's a word for it, I can't think what it is. Yeah, that'll do. And then ooh, that's too low. My cat having a wander around. Hi baby. I think this is pretty standard, dividing your face. I do my eyes a little bit differently to most people, I think. I'm using a much harder pencil than normal. I hope you can see it. I usually use like a 4H or something. But today I'm using an H. I don't want to go any darker than that. You'll be able to see it much better in a minute when I pen it in. I don't spend a lot of time doing the pencil bits. I tend to sketch it in and then fix anything that needs doing when I pen it. something I find that I think a lot of people have is where you draw your eyes, and what you find is your two eyes are level, but they're both like that. I get that a lot. So I always have to check them because somehow they always manage to end up. See, I've done it this time now. They're straight, but they're both at an angle every time. I think it's because I draw on a slight angle. I can't draw straight. It's not comfortable. I can fix that when I do my penning in a second. What sort of hair shall I give her? I think she looks like she needs a nice off the shoulder kind of gypsy style puffy top. Just catching up on the chat here. Eve's a pro at running the chat room, I tell you. Never do a UStream show without her. I don't know what to do with her arms. She's a bit smaller than I normally draw. Usually avoid arms at all costs. Anyway, I think she's going to have a witch's hat, isn't she? If you like doing realistic-ish drawings and this kind of stuff, particularly where it's not going to be messy, I can highly recommend this book. It's really, really good for, it's actually obviously fashion illustration, but it shows you all about drawing different face shapes. Really, really simple. It's got detail on various different, you know, look at all these mouths. That's something I have trouble with, is drawing different mouths in different orientations. Your mouths can tend to look all the same. Different hairstyles and how to make them look realistic. It goes through hats. That was what prompted me, because I was drawing the hat. Hands, really helpful section. Shoes, how to put garments together, the different poses that you can use. Really, really, really comprehensive book. And then you've got drapes of fabric. I've never come across a book that is so comprehensive and so easy to follow. I mean, how can you not follow that? You know, you don't even need instructions. You can see what it is and why it works and why this bit is darker. Oh, it's because all the fabric's bunched up. You know, you don't need any kind of skill to follow it at all. And they've even got things like this where you can see the movement of the body, where the stretch and highlight of the fabric would be and all that. And then it's got various different tips and techniques on colours, colouring, different steps. They got different artists to do different things, patterns and how they fall on different types of fabric. And you know, you can see, it amazes me that fashion illustrators can do this, where you can actually see that this is obviously some kind of silky or chiffon-y kind of material, this is wool, this is jersey, this is, you know, what knitted maybe, this is cotton. Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's even got computer stuff, how to process your illustrations. So it's called Contemporary Fashion Illustration Techniques. Shouting at me to show you the title. I'm doing it. It's published by Rockport, and it is by a Japanese artist that I cannot pronounce the name of. Her surname is Watanabe, I think, but I will type it in the chat room because I cannot say it. Oh, help if I put my keyboard the right way up. This is her name. Oh, why is it telling me I'm not logged in? I am logged in, I'm broadcasting, idiot. Is that working now? Now I've lost all the chat. So just in case that didn't go through, there we go, that's her name, and it's called Contemporary Fashion Illustration Techniques, and it's Rockport Press. I bought mine in the UK on Amazon, and it cost me, I got it second hand, but it looks brand new. I think it was obviously used to belong to a fashion student. It looks brand new. I think it cost me about £9, which is $15–20 US dollars, but well